How's it going today, everybody? Eddie Kernan for RexiLab. Well, if you've been following this for a while, then you know that this guitar body is done and ready for the neck. And I gotta tell you, how cool did this turn out? I mean, seriously. We don't need this thing right now. I'm gonna move it off the bench to keep it safe while I finish this. So I've been really excited to actually finish this neck, and it took some time, it took some doing. It had fret sprout for days, it had this finish stuff that was going on. The back of the neck was sanded completely raw by somebody who was high on enthusiasm but low on actual practical experience. So I had to kind of re-contour it back the way it was. And I got rid of that Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein Widow's Peak that was on the back of this thing. Doyle, do not beat me up. You're way bigger than me and I love you. Every last bit of the paint that was on here was stripped off, and as if that wasn't enough, I got some custom made graphics by Rothko and Frost to put on here to personalize this guitar even more. It's going to be so cool. So now we have the frets all polished, we have the fretboard all cleaned up. First things first though is that I have to take off this tape. And I did mention that this back part right here reveals a surprise. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Alright, so I think that this one turned out really, really nice. And it's a Bork Brad Michael custom, and why not? It looks like a Gibson Les Paul, but the kid's name is Brad Michael Bork. You might notice, if you're particularly astute, the finish is a little swirly and it's actually got a couple lines, a couple checks going through it. And there's a reason for that. This guitar body right here, it's got nicks and marks all over it. It's what we would call relict, or lightly relict. And so when I buffed this thing up to 2000 grit, it was just too pretty. So I had to use a couple techniques to kind of match the paint of the headstock to the guitar body. And the cool part is that the back of it has the Squishy Guitar Project logo and Squishy riding her T-Rex T-Bone. Here's the next piece of the puzzle, and that would be the tuners that are going on. The things that came on here were not terrible, but they were super generic, very goofy. And I believe I said in the very first video that this kid might not appreciate locking tuners and top shelf Seymour Duncans. Maybe he'll appreciate them, maybe he won't, but he's gonna get them. And these are Hipshot, which is one of the best, if not the best. And they are, in fact, locking tuners. It's time to put the neck on this guitar. Okay. You know what? There is one thing I gotta do though. Every single Squishy Guitar Project guitar gets a special RexiLab sticker on the inside. One day, when I'm long gone, there will be a record of what we did here with this guitar and this young man. And I think that's pretty cool. The nut has been super glued in place. You need to actually get some strings on this guitar. It's all strung up, everything should be cool, right? Well, wrong. Why? Because the frets are not level. It's time to break out the dreaded apparatus. Okay, the level and crown is done, and I don't mind telling you, it was a pain, a severe pain. But you know what? As a result, now we're looking good. Everything is cool, and we have no high frets. And now it's time to bring this nut down. Take my nut files and get going on this. This thing is done. I have no idea what's going to happen, but the kid's dad told me that he might hug me or have a seizure. I'm going to package this thing up and the next time you see it, it will be at C&M.